Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. Today, this is just a recap of today's live stream, very fast recap. We're going to go over a few topics, Vechain and a possible target partnership. It's very speculative. It's just one rumor that I've heard somewhere. Tezos and can it be the next Ethereum because of the STOs? And the Fed faster payment system. They're going to make a speech on Monday. A lot of people are speculating on it, but I don't think there's really that much to speculate. So let's go over the Vechain information first. So I actually heard that someone from DNVGL is going to talk to Target USA about a possible partnership with Vechain. Now, this is not confirmed. You cannot take this to the bank or anything. This is just kind of like a wispy rumor that Vechain might partner with Target USA in the future. Now, this is really big. I mean, Vechain, I didn't think this would be possible if Vechain just hadn't partnered with Walmart China, but Target USA could possibly be bigger. Not so much because of Target, because Walmart's bigger than Target, obviously, but mainly because Target USA adopting would be a USA corporation adopting Vechain, and that could signal that they've finally gotten around regulations, which could lead them to be listed at many various exchanges, maybe even OceanX, gaining US regulatory compliance. So that's one of the things that I'm most excited about if they get this target partnership. Of course, this is not set in stone. This is just a passing by rumor. So I wouldn't take this to the bank. I think the chances of this are still fairly small right now. It's just what DNVGL can say, and I don't really know what the regulations between US, China, and the trade war is at this point. Relations could be so bad right now that this really isn't a possibility. We don't know. I hope it happens, but I can't really promise or even say that it's likely to happen right now. I just hope it does. The second thing is Tezos. Can it be the new Ethereum? So I'm basing this on STOs because ICOs were the darling of the last bull run. STOs could be the darling of this bull run. STO stands for security traded security token offering. And Tezos has actually scored a $1 billion deal with BDP, a large Brazilian investment bank, the fifth largest bank in Brazil, and the largest investment bank in the Latin America area, to do at least $1 billion of STOs on Tezos' platform, with possibly billions more in the future. And I really like that prospect because I think Tezos could possibly be like Ethereum if STOs take off like ICOs did last time. This is a big partnership, and these things can definitely pump up the price, especially if we have another altcoin bull run, which I'm hoping we will have in Q4 this year or Q1 of next year. So that is, could Tezos be the next Ethereum? That's why I think Tezos could actually be the next Ethereum because of the STOs, which almost are equivalent to the ICOs last time. Now, there are a lot more platforms this time than last time. Last time, Ethereum was like the only game in town. Tezos is not the only game in town, so it will have competition, but it has secured a large contract, and that's why I'm speculating that Tezos could be the next Ethereum. So the third thing is the Fed faster payment system. This has actually come up again because they're making a speech on Monday. We don't really know what's in that speech. I know that big banks are generally against the Fed actually making a faster payment system. Notable point is that the US has had the technology for the last decade to make a faster payment system, same-day clearing and settlement, possibly within minutes. They actually brought up a proposal, NACHA, N-A-C-H-A, I think, actually brought up a proposal in 2012 of same-day clearing settlement with an improved ACH system, and essentially the big banks just blocked it completely. I don't know if they did it in Congress or they did lobbies or whatever. They completely blocked it. They shut it down. So it's pretty clear to me that they've had the technology for a while, for years, or almost a decade basically, because the UK implemented the same thing a decade ago. And if the UK has the technology, I'm betting the US actually has the technology as well. And they actually had a proposal 7 years ago that got blocked by the big banks. This was before Ripple and all that stuff actually appeared. So the technology has actually been there. The big banks just blocked it because the big banks make a lot of money off the inefficiencies in the system, and they're not really willing to give that up. Right now, the big banks themselves have a product called the clearinghouse, which actually is kind of like serves the 25 largest banks in the United States. 16 of them have been using it for a year or two. It is pretty much instant clearing and settlement, but regular consumers like you and me don't really have access to it. So that's the private solution that some of the big banks are using. And the Fed says all banks within the community bank membership has to have a solution like that, and they're actually trying to make one. Now, they don't want anything to compete with a clearinghouse, so the big banks are obviously against it, but the Fed seems to be pushing it a little more. Now, they have a speech on Monday or something. I've actually seen the proposals for the system. Ripple was one of them, but it was way down the list in terms of like likelihood. The top two were actually the clearinghouse and this one other system. It started with a D or something. I forgot exactly what it was. It started with a D, but the second one was the clearinghouse that kind of scored the highest. So my guess is because the big banks are actually invested in the clearinghouse, the Fed system eventually is going to be the clearinghouse plus their fast ACH system or something like that, or interoperability between the clearinghouse and their fast ACH system. Other countries already have this domestic RTGS system. How it works is basically, it's kind of like the clearinghouse. It's basically a 24/7 clearinghouse. What it does is how it works is that the member banks actually just send the money transfers into the Fed, and then the Fed actually just doles all the money out to where it needs to go. They have some kind of system in there that does that very quickly, automatically, and it's running 24/7 in other countries. And that actually, from the documentation that I read, actually seems like the route that the US is likely to follow too. We'll see what they actually announce on Monday, but if they announce anything, if the announcement isn't just like, if the announcement really isn't just, hey, we're making some progress on it, we'll tell you about it later. I'm going to guess it has something to do with the clearinghouse and the ACH system that's going to be built on top of it. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you and have a nice day.